Yo, what's up? Now, yeah, we going back. We taking it back. Y'all remember Jay-Z the Hustler? See, Jay-Z and 50 Cent has always competed, but not on the scales of what you might think. You see, when Fifth was coming up, Jay was trying to change his whole appearance to show people he's a businessman. He always wanted to be respected as a businessman. And he was the main guy, I'm the businessman, street hustler, and DMX made it being street, so he rode that wave. Meanwhile, Fifth was being Fifth. He had the headband, the bandana. He had his debut CD coming out. This is what he looked like. He was with Tone and Poke, them snakes, and they getting ready to drop. Now, Tone and Pope was basically snaking 50 Cent because they love Jay. Now, if you had a chance to work with Jay or 50 Cent at that time, who would you choose? So this was a no-brainer in the situation. Now, Fifth, he got rid of the headbands, but still, he kept the same image. The same 50 Cent you see back then is the same type of 50 Cent you see today. He was very brazen. Jay became more, polished as he gotten older. And what do I mean by that? Now, both did different things. Like, there was never a real beef, like they wanted to go to war on the streets and nothing like that. It was all a competition thing. And Jay would try to act like he isn't in competition with 50 Cent, but he was always in competition with 50 Cent. That's how he moved. He's the ultimate competitor. He's just silent about it. He don't want you to know he's competing with you. You have to figure it out. That was the way he operated. When Jay came out and they was pushing Rockaware and trying to sell clothes because of Dame, that's when he said he's about $1. What the F is 50 Cent? Then Fifth came out with Be a Gentleman, and that's when Jay-Z went and got Trackmasters, Tone and Pope. It's like, I'm gonna work with them. And then once 50 got shot, everybody want to stay away from him. Right? That was what it was like back then. That was like kryptonite to your career. You the victim, but they stay away from you. Now, Fifth comes back with G Unit. And he's the biggest thing in the world. Jay-Z know what time it is. He's on 2013. Jay-Z is on the Breakfast Club. That tells you he wasn't doing well. Jay-Z at the Breakfast Club. Jay-Z don't do the Breakfast Club. You don't do the whole internet circuit, the media circuit, unless you're struggling. So that's how I knew Jay-Z was struggling in 2013. And when I mean struggling, I mean he was just getting a new deal. Like he just did a 360 deal because he needed to be legitimate cash-wise. Mm-mm. He needs to be legitimized cash wise. He needed to be cash rich. So the fact that he wasn't cash rich, now the jump off, Kim Osario, she was the one in there giving up information because everybody from Queens and everybody done ran through that. But 50 had a seed and he said, "You want to hear something?" He gets in the car, he messing with Kim Osario, right, from the source. He pops in and it was a G Unit song and it was Back Down. But it was a whole different version. It's the same beat. He dissed Cameron, he dissed Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Murder Inc., and other people. He called Ja Rule sounding like a cookie monster. He said Jay-Z was gay. He dissed Cameron's pink fashion sense. That is an original version of that song that they didn't let come out. Dr. Dre cut that song out. Cut that part out of Back Down. Back Down wasn't coming out like that. He took Cameron out of there. He took Jay-Z out of there. The whole nine. So, in case you guys didn't know, we're going to go into that on the Patreon. Now, when you look at the main scope of it and you see the bigger picture and you see Jay, right? And Jay was the big figurehead. Jay was the one that was essentially coming out with the shoe sneaker deal with Reeboks at the same time with 50 Cent, the S. Dot Carters, and the G Unit shoe. This is what this is what Dame Dash was saying. He wouldn't have done this deal. He said, Jay-Z, he told Steve Stout, you just put Jay-Z's likeness on a $45 shoe. And there they was, the two biggest people of the summer, Jay and 50, on the album cover. Jay-Z was coming out with the Black Album. 50 Cent was getting ready to debut the G Unit album. So this is how Jay was gonna stay relevant. He gonna get next to an artist that's not his. He knew nobody in his stable could contend with whatever 50 Cent was bringing to the table. So we gonna do this deal together as business. We gonna have Steve Stout bring us together, and we collectively gonna do this business deal. So it was a one-off for 50 Cent. He chose not to do business with Steve Stout again, which pissed off Steve Stout. He was like, I just brought you 40-something million dollars. He was like, yeah, that's good, but I've already seen how you operate. He saw how he operated with Nas in that whole situation. He knew that that guy's a snake. Because it was like, okay, I see how you are. You come back and tell your enemies everything. He's like, if I'm working with you, you're going to run back and tell Jay-Z everything. So he was like, I don't want to work with nobody like that, especially doing business. This is a good piece of business for right now, but no, I don't want to acquire you. And ever since then, Steve Stout had a problem with 50 Cent. I just made you that money and you ain't going, no, I made you that money. You ate off that too. So you got your money. I'm just not finna sign with you. So they're gonna get upset about this video. They always do. They always get upset when I do a video talking about what's real. Now, when Jay was Jay, Jay can come out with the rock chain. He got Beyonce with him. He created a new brand, a new wave. $50 ain't got 50 million. Do Jay-Z? Now you remember Beg for Mercy came out the same time as the Black Album. Same day. $50 sold like almost 3 million records with G Unit. And they said, well, why would he drop that album then?
Songs again, taking bullets and stuff, that was all cool?
Yeah, you know what he said? He said, I ain't been shot up a bunch of times. I ain't put bullshit in my lines. I ain't animated to say Busta Rhymes. But those are like 3 descriptions. The first description of being shot up was to me, I think.
Wait, you saying you were lying about being shot up?
Nah, he said, I ain't been shot a bunch of times.
Oh, okay.
I ain't put bullshit in my lines.
Oh.
Who's that?
Nas, the bull.
Nas has BS in his rap?
Yeah, that's what Jay-Z. Him and Jay-Z been going back
Going
and
at it,
forth.
yeah.
God.
Yo, 50, I got a question to ask you, man.
Huh?
Yeah, Jigga came at you also on,
Jigga?
when he said,
You better watch it.
I'm about $1, who the hell is 50 Cent?
Yeah,
Why you
yeah.
didn't come at him?
I did. I put out a song. It's called "Be a Gentleman." Especially be a gentleman and you watch what you say. That was hip hop, man. It was just being competitive at that point. It wasn't no beef. Like
on November 19, 2003, the numbers were in. Beg for Mercy selling 377,000 copies in the first week, debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200, and the Black Album sold 463,000 copies in the first week, debuting at number 1. Beg for Mercy even fell short of outselling Tupac's posthumous album, Tupac Resurrection, which was also released that same day. It was official that Jay-Z had won the sales battle that 50 bet on and outsold Beg for Mercy. Jay-Z would later recall this in his 2010 book, Decoded, quote,
Yeah, and that was the thing. That was 50 Cent's crew album. That wasn't a 50 Cent album. So Kevin Lyles at Def Jam was asking him to push the date back to give 50 albums some time. And he's like, no, put my album out as planned, which is a lie. Jay-Z just told a bold-faced lie. Said Kevin Lyles told him to put it out later for 50 Cent. He was like, nah, put the album out the way it's supposed to go out. That wasn't his decision. That was Leor Cohen saying, we finna cross brand and cross promote. So when they did the commercial together, that's when everything started to, come into picture. You start to see things a little clearer. $50 Cent, Jay-Z doing commercials for that collection, right? So what would be the problem? Well, they had a good relationship until the Game came through with his bullshit with Jay-Z. And Jay is like, is 50 pushing the Game to come at me? So he was like, dude, I'm out the game. Why is this dude mentioning me? And he was like, man, 50 went to make the contact. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with him, Dre, or me. That's this guy's thing. I don't know what he doing. So, and Fifth was like, all right, well, then I ain't going to say nothing. Because this dude because Jay could push the button and end Game's whole career. And what he mean by that is he ain't got to make a song. L.A. Reid and all those guys, Def Jam would definitely make it difficult for Game to get on radio, get everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Jay came out of retirement, he was starting to go into his own thing. Remember when Kanye was battling all these people? And he said it. Fifth was like, Jay-Z's going through the same thing that I went through with Game with Kanye West. When the fame get to their head, you can't control these dudes. So 50 Cent was dating Sierra, and Sierra was supposed to be his Beyonce, but you can't have a Beyonce when everybody else didn't have her. That's why I'm like, dude, she's not gonna be Beyonce. Sierra's time is over. And Jay came back trying to be the old school Jay with the chain, the head, and Fifth was on stage, and he didn't know why Fifth was on stage running the set. And look, Jay was upset. Like, why is 50 Cent on stage? Why they let him up here? He's ruining the whole show. Diddy didn't care. Diddy was like, oh, this is lit. We all up here. But Jay was not happy. He was not happy to see 50 Cent on the stage counting money. He was trying to get him to get off the stage. Well, he was not happy. And Fifth came in there and did what he wanted to do. Bum rush the show. And just come on stage. So that doesn't mean 50 Cent can't wear a suit. 50 Cent will get in a suit all he wants. Now, when they went up against the Graduation album, now Graduation is an all-time classic album. It's a better album than Curtis. But Curtis is damn sure a great album. It's just not this. This is two different tones. Okay, this is a damn good album. That's a great album. But this here is flawless 5 mic perfection. Kanye West Graduation, his best album ever. Now, yes, Graduation is a classic by far. Now, the problem that this whole circuit was, he should have never named this album Curtis. I don't know why did he do this. He was beefing with Cameron at the time, and they had the song Curtis, so he just put it as the title to his album, Curtis. He should have never went that route. He should have had a better title for the album than Curtis. And anyway, that's just one. But that led to Jay-Z trying to say, well, he couldn't even beat Kanye West. You couldn't even beat Kanye West. What you talking about? Kanye outsold you completely. But that's just how he was, competitive. No, Curtis is not better than the Massacre album. No, the Massacre, I listen to that more than I listen to Get Rich. I listen to the Massacre more than I listen to that album. The Massacre, if you take the songs he gave the game, it's Hate It or Love It is on Massacre. This Is How We Do is on the Massacre. Church for Thugs. All the songs that he gave the game that he took off the Massacre. You tell me where that song is at now. And I'm saying the Massacre is, as soon as you press play, you ain't got to hit skip. Oh, no song. I'm like, man, till I get to probably a Baltimore Love thing, which ain't even on most of the albums. It was a bonus cut. Now, fifth, as I told you, when you go listen to his book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, this is the best book he ever put out. Because you get to learn from the Curtis Jackson side. See, this is the Curtis Jackson side, the businessman. Like I said, Fifth could put on a suit, but he don't compromise who he is. He's still 50 Cent. He said they both stole my name. What are you, Sean Jackson? All right, my only member. Sincerely, I see you. No, in the book he said I congratulated Jay-Z by doing right by his artists in that situation that he had with Rockefeller and being next to him at that time. But he missed the point. He said, I have little doubt that due to Interscope's missteps, his sale would have been much lower. Their competition actually turned into what would be a tough first week for him and a very respectful one. He said if he had just left Interscope to their own devices, he said he might have sold 400K in that first week. He managed to salvage a tough situation and create a historical moment with the battle with Kanye. He says Kanye can get the trophy, but 50 Cent gonna get the check. So yeah, you'll get the trophy. He's like, that's not a shot at Kanye. He made a lot of money too, but if it's a trade, I'll take my side every time. Which means that he had a better deal in place than Kanye West. His situation was going to be better than Kanye's. And he was going to make more money off the album than Kanye West did. But Kanye had a classic, so no, he was going to end up making way more. Now, the fact that he has Eminem with him, and that was the drawing power. And this is what Jay-Z was saying as Jay-Z album came out and flopped and didn't do what it was supposed to do. it changed everything. So Jay started trying to reinvent himself.
I think he would have done that if that was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Well, you know what I mean.
97. 50 responded to Jay's rebuttal, calling Jay-Z a punk.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift. Like I said, if I was actually updated, he wouldn't come take my trophy.
Right.
Kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay disagreed.
Jay said nobody's scared of 50. That's what the quote was.
Yeah, but that really, he should have addressed the guy who made him feel like a punk. Well, he had to make it clear that no one's scared of 50 Cent. Because that person was obviously making him feel like maybe he's afraid or Kanye West is afraid of 50 Cent. It wasn't 50 Cent.
But
And the public misinterprets it. Like, see, well, we have, like, you know how rock and roll has punk rock?
mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, hip hop has cool punk. Jay's the coolest punk in hip hop. His presentation makes people decide to say,
Oh man.
you know, because he's big. And his take on it is bigger than the actual art form. He won't actually compete. So there's points where the artist will do things just to create a competition, like the battling has always been a part of the culture. And it doesn't happen because it just looks like, and words from Slick Rick, these peasants.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice. You know, but when he has to say no one's afraid of 50 Cent, it's because the public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him.
I think he was responding to you saying that Kanye would be scared if you were on.
Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Not the Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
No, we'd have had altercation right there.
What would you have done if Little Mama jumped on the stage while you?
Little Mama would not jump on the 50 Cent stage.
What
The
would
comfort,
you
see,
do? What
that
would you do?
all of these things are happening because they're comfortable with him. His presentation is,
But you can't-
he's becoming more approachable.
But you couldn't
let's
get
just be
at
honest.
Little Mama. You look crazy.
No, but Little Mama would understand that that ain't a cool space for you to just be walking on to. Like, even if you appreciate Jay-Z and you enjoy him, you don't just walk on the middle of the man's stage in the
Right.
set. You know what I mean? Not at a award show. Who's confused about that? The whole audience is excited. You know, everybody would be up there if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're saying your stage would not be so comfortable for anybody to go up
no.
there.
And I like it.
You're not gonna come on my stage. Those type of words, because it's spoken so calmly, would affect somebody like Jay-Z. Because Jay doesn't understand the whole purpose of it. And when he's talking about Jay and what Jay has been doing and how's he been moving as of late, it starts to bring a tone that most of these people aren't ready for. Then he went and got Beanie Siegel, was another stab when Benny had problems with Jay. So they never got to the point of doing deal. So Jay-Z had to change his whole image up and get with Alicia Keys, start wearing these suits, and now he's doing this Welcome to New York, and he's changed his whole, look. Ain't no more long Rockefeller chains. It's all this suits. And then Crime Wave comes out. And Before Our Self-Destruct album come out, which was his last deal, and then Blueprint 3 comes out and does massive numbers, as 50 Cent is pretty much leaving the whole music space with Interscope because the relationship isn't good.
Women lie, numbers don't.
So when he took that shot,
50 sat down with DJ Envy for an interview. During the interview, he would speak on his issues with Jay-Z and replied to Jay's AMA speech, saying that if that was about him, he should make it more direct next time.
Right, that way. Now let me ask you, we're talking about that. Now, what's your relationship with Jay-Z?
But Jay, I really don't. He said something on Tim Westbrook's show. You know, they asked him about
50 Cent, he said nobody's scared of 50 Cent.
Yeah,
right.
But, I don't think he's aware of his presentation. You know, if there's an adjustment, there's something that's happening that's different. about him and the way people perceive him. You know, he's way more approachable. You know, like it's the Beyonce and I don't know, Sinatra vibe he's trying to put off. That's making him like people comfortable enough to walk on the stage.
Right.
So when they make him feel like a punk at that point, he got to say nobody's afraid of 50 Cent. When they should be addressing how that person is making you feel,
Right.
and not me at that point.
Now, in the AMAs, of course, it was rumors when he got his award. He said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie." Like says he's going at fifth. This is his little remark at fifth. He's sort of laughing.
But he's been saying that before. He said that before.
No, when you heard that, you see, when I seen it, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about I just seen Fifth perform, so Fifth might be backstage, and now he has to go backstage.
Yeah.
So I thought that it might have been a probable situation because at that point there's no security back there. It's just you and him.
Nah, he didn't say nothing. I didn't take that directly towards him. If that was, then you should say something a little more direct so we can stop rapping and get right to the shit.
On November 26, 2009, at 50 Cent's album release party in New York City, 50 would bring out Beanie Siegel and the two would perform their track, I Go Off Together. 4 days later, on November 29, 2009, Beanie Siegel did an interview with DJ On and On, where Beanie Siegel revealed that Jay-Z was planning on dropping a remix to his track Empire State of Mind with Nas, where he would be dissing Beanie and 50 Cent. I credit him for the moves he makes, but I'm nice at chess too.
Yeah. So they was gonna do New York State of Mind, which was gonna be the Empire State of Mind. So they were gonna do a remix where him and Nas was gonna do a beef with 50 Cent and Benny Siegel. Mm-hmm. But he didn't want to do it on his own. He wanted to put Nas on it so that everybody would go at Nas so he could step away and put Nas on there. And make it like Nas is going at 50 and Beanie Siegel, which wasn't going to be the case. Yeah, that's what he does. But like he said, he's like, I ain't going to hold no punches. Nas will come back. He'll come right back with a diss record. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna hold no punches. He gonna come right back. But Jay, he ain't gonna do that. Jay gonna think about the money. And Benny said, Jay got that ego. You know, he thinks he's Jesus. He really believes it. He's got that king complex. And Fifth was telling him, he's like, dog, Jay-Z thinks when he says Rock La Familia, that it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Rockefeller gang, and you saying all this, we family, it's the Rockefeller gang, then you're using traditional business tactics. Like, he didn't have their interests in mind. He was just doing what was best for him. With Jay-Z, I don't know him personally, but he said, I don't think they do either. None of them dudes. It's like they just have stronger access to him. As far as the artist and who he works with, I think he completely has his best interest in mind. When you commit to working with other artists, you have to be passionate about it. When 50 Cent was present with G Unit, he was G Unit. He was there with them. When Jay was, this is Rock La Familia and all that, nah, he wasn't really there for that. He wasn't there for them.
Him talking about me because I just talked to you about the numbers.
Yes.
If we looked at the numbers,
Yes.
then you feel like I did his entire career in 4 years. What he did in 15, I did in 4.
On January 18th, 2010, 50 Cent sat down with DJ Clue and DJ Envy for an interview where he would further speak on Jay-Z.
Now, AMAs, a couple men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah.
Now, everybody was saying Jay-Z was taking a shot at you.
And I didn't take it that way. Because if we looked at all of the numbers, you see I did his career in 4 years.
I heard you say that before.
In 4 years. So you can't, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the largest selling album he's had internationally sold 430,000 copies. Hard Not Right. I sold 5 million twice. So when we leave here, you know who's who.
Now, what is your relationship though? Because it seems like y'all take stabs every once in a while, but then I see y'all on stage and then y'all perform, and then I see y'all take pictures with each
Because
other.
it's the competitive nature of the art form. It's still there, he still competes too. He just does it so subliminal that people don't read it. And that's like, to me, it's a softer way to do it, the safer way to do it, because no one directly feels offended by it. If that meant what, those people were saying, man, I'm like, why not just say it?
They say the best shot is taken by snipers.
Oh yeah? Well then, I don't feel the bullets. You see what I'm saying? And you at least gotta let the bullet go.
You gotta at least let the bullet go.
The issue with you would go and you'd approach it or figure out why they actually have that issue. And when they come to Jay, he goes, I ain't saying nothing to them, like they're not on my level.
Right.
Type of things. And a lot of the guys that I've had to compete with were guys who previously disrespected Jay-Z and he didn't respond to it.
Right. Do you feel like that's the way Jay-Z gets down? Is it different from 50, or you feel like
Yeah, I think it's character.
Right.
There's certain comforts that people have based on, I guess, the experience. I think the things you go through make you who you are.
And so that makes him the coolest punk.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z went to perform with Eminem to try to take a shot at 50 because 50 did that with Beanie Siegel. He was like, I'm gonna perform with Eminem. I'm gonna bring Eminem closer to me. So now he gonna see it's gonna be me and M, and I'm gonna take M on tour. I'm gonna be M don't vibe with Jay like that. He saw how Jay moved, and he didn't really like Jay-Z's vibe. He tried to be cool with Jay, but he seen how Jay was being shiesty and trying to go at Fifth, and he was like, yo, Fifth is my artist. If I don't ride with my own guys, what is this? And he saw Jay-Z's snaky moves, and he got away from Jay. Jay was never happy about the fact people talked that line about Eminem murdered you on your own. That sticks with Jay more than anything. Jay can't stand that. The fact that people went, yeah, that is true. He did get murked on that by Eminem. I hate it. Jay hates that. Because Jay felt like y'all make it sound like I was whack on the record. That's why he said no to the feature on the 8 Mile. When he did 8 Miles and Running, then he wanted to submit his own record. He didn't want Eminem on the record. He didn't want to do a song with Eminem. He said, I'll submit a record for the album. Nas is on the soundtrack. He submitted his own record, but they put Nas through a gauntlet of songs. Which put that created a whole nother situation, but we'll talk about that later.
I can't understand what.
Now, the business side of things, right? These guys are titans in what they do. They were supposed to all be connected, all be boys. Everything was respect and love Floyd fell out with Jay over Beyonce, and oh yeah. But it became a personal thing with Jay that he didn't think it was as personal. 50 was like, oh, he gets it too. Well, I'm a businessman, he a businessman.
Was that Joy? That's a tough one to think. I can't, I can't really get with it. Like when she started doing all that, I said, that jail.
On March 31st, 2014, 50 Cent stopped by the Breakfast Club, and during the interview, he would speak on Jay-Z when comparing his G-Unit artists to Jay's Rockefeller artists, saying that Jay uses his artists for momentum when they become hot.
Like the mistake, look what Jay-Z, when Jay-Z signed a guy, you don't see him around that person at all. Until he get hot. Until he got hot enough to function without Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. And then he may use that momentum that the guy has to keep himself cool for a little bit and then move away from him and go back to doing the Jay thing.
A couple of months later, on May 30th, 2014, 50 Cent appeared on the Breakfast Club again, and he had more to say about Jay-Z. He started off talking about record sales and referenced Jay-Z's AMA speech in 2009.
You see Jay been live on the line numbers though. Yeah. It's when he got the first #1 record of his whole career. oh, good timing. That's what he said. Yo, that boy, he's a piece of work for real, man.
Oh man. That was Jay-Z's first #1 record. So Rock Nation Sports is going to promote boxers and everything else. Jay-Z was going into boxing. Right. 50 Cent was already into boxing with the SMS audio, the fallout with Floyd Mayweather. He went and started forming his own thing. So Rock Nation was set to make their first boxing card and try to get into the sports world. And 50 Cent said, Jay-Z won't fare well. This is what I do, and this is not what he do. He shouldn't even have gotten involved. And he's like, oh, they're going to clean Jay up. He's like, the sport of boxing is going to clean him out. You just can't buy your way into purchasing existing companies and stuff like that. You look at the roster of fighters, you have to experience people around it to run it. But boxing is like a fur coat business. He's like, we don't know how much they actually sold the jacket for. Which is true. You don't know how much they sold that jacket for. So Jay-Z got out of the boxing business, and then the title, thing just went left. And then he was like, Usher was there, Madonna, all these people. He said, that's a little bit more of when you say it was a business, it was more of a corporate play. When the record is playing on the air and they say, oh, all right, let's get this guy. The companies have contracts, and the companies are going to do everything to maximize the performance of the music, which is true. They're not going to just put it through Tidal as a service. And that's when the 50 Cent realized he wasn't going to sign and do the Tidal thing with Jay-Z. He wasn't going to get involved. So when it was time to go to television and entertainment, Jay-Z tried to do that. A lot of y'all don't even know this. Jay-Z tried to go and create a show on television. They was going to present it with Rock Nation. And then he comes out with this album, The 444. Yeah, what they was going to do was try to put out a little mini movie or mini series and put it out at the movie theaters and put it when they had this deal with HBO. And it never materialized. And that was in 2014 and 15. 50 Cent had Stars and Power coming out. So after Power came through in like 2014, 2015, and season 2 was getting ready to premiere, 50 Cent, Jay-Z had a deal with HBO, but HBO didn't want Jay-Z. They wanted Beyonce. So Beyonce's tour was going to be shown till they get a treatment for the show and all this. And they didn't like the show that was being presented by Rock Nation. And they said, well, only if Beyonce stars in the show, then they would put it out. And that she didn't want to star in the show and as the actress, and they would have to put up more money. So that project went to hell. So Tyler Perry was supposed to put out this project that she had about this girl from the South, and it was almost like a 1960s piece, and they were gonna film it in Georgia, and they was like, well, if Beyonce's gonna be in this thing, it would mean something. But she was like, no, Beyonce wants to produce it with Jay-Z. It's gonna be a big thing, right? It might, but then it won't be a Tyler Perry thing, and Tyler Perry was busy at the time. So now you at a whole different level, a different playing field. So the whole world didn't see what I saw when I saw it, which was something incredible. They saw a difference of opinion. So the 444 came out, and 50 Cent couldn't help but take shots at it. And the reason why he was taking shots at 444, because he knew Jay-Z tried to come in and on the wave after Power.
So they don't want to hear that. They just want to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And off that, you can't be the best rapper at 47 because the music is here. They coming with new shit going on. That's why I was laughing when the Joe Budden against the Migos did it, because they up next. You gotta let the young niggas come in. Obviously, doing features and all this other stuff. Leave them alone, B. What the fuck is the matter with you, man? I ain't gonna hold you up tonight. This is like golf course music.
On September 26, 2017, 50 Cent sat down with Ebro on Hot 97 for an interview where he further discussed Jay-Z's 444 album, saying that it's a good album but won't be played by a younger audience.
Were you happy about Jay's last album? Did you like how it sounded?
I thought it was too smart.
You said that. You said it was like it didn't connect, and I was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, look, it's in my car right now.
You listening to it?
I'm listening to the records. I still like the records. I mean, look, what it is right now for the audience to get out actively now involved in the culture of the drive and what's hot. Let's see how that went quite quick. And the best marketing campaign. You have 444 all over the place, but who you get playing? Us. It's in my car.
Later that year, on December 7th, 2017.
Which is true. So now it comes to the point. Who would you want to do business
Eminem,
with?
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, at the Super Bowl. That was the biggest thing ever. And that's what Fifth is like, whoa, you got a problem with me being at the Super Bowl? They cut him out of the poster. 50 Cent wasn't even on the poster. They didn't want 50 Cent there at all. So Jay-Z's people at Rock Nation decided to say, oh no, it wasn't Jay that had a problem with 50 Cent. It was because Eminem said, well, I'm not performing if 50 Cent's not going to perform. That doesn't make sense. See, I give him that. He's definitely loyal to 50. But he know that don't make any sense. You can't do that and not put him on the scale. It's not gonna work. So because he decided, hey, we're gonna do that this way, they tried to blame the NFL. Well, no, the NFL had a problem with 50 Cent, but we worked it out. 50 Cent's like, what problem would the NFL have with me? Like, really, he had no problems with the NFL. He's like, they play my music at the NFL. I haven't gotten one letter from the NFL about anything. What problem would the NFL have with 50 Cent? None. That was just a corporate lie to try to cover up for Jay. Fifth knew what time it was. And when I think Snoop said it, yeah, he was like, nah, the white boy, he wanted him. Like, the white boy. He wouldn't even say Eminem's name. So that let him know he had a problem. He still got a problem with Eminem. Jay still got a problem with him. Why wouldn't he just say Eminem? Why would he say the white boy wanted him? Now, the question was, who was the best businessman? Okay. This is a question that's more complex than what you think. It depends on what is your business. I'm serious. All because the more people talk, the more things don't stay the same. The more people talk, the more what should be elaborate, it's not. Good. What you're starting to see is a growing trend in the industry. And the growing trend in the industry is to cause confusion at all turns. In my opinion, I would say 50 Cent is the better businessman than Jay-Z. A lot of you might pick Jay. Here's the thing. Jay-Z has a very good business team. He's more corporate. Does not make him a very good businessman. He's made smarter decisions to make himself rich. And says, hey, but look at the guys around me. I made them all millionaires. Yeah, you brought them along for the ride and you made better business decisions. But you're not the better businessman. For example, Rock Nation. Is Jay-Z having meetings in his office with artists? Or is Desiree Perez and the rest of the team handling the decisions that happen with Rock Nation? You never hear these artists talking about sitting down with Jay-Z and discussing business. When Dame Dash was doing all of the business at Rockefeller Records, Jay was, I'm a part owner, but didn't conduct any business. You didn't conduct any business. All the business was conducted by one individual. And that individual uh-oh, hold on. I think my buddy hit me. Now, when this whole thing hey, well, when you start thinking about business, right? Dame handled the business at Rockefeller. So when all the deals was being done and discussed, Leor was corrupting Jay because Jay already wanted to get away from Dame. Jay wanted to be looked at and respected as a businessman. And he was like, I'm never going to get respected as a businessman if I'm next to you. Now, the person who they had the biggest problem with, the person who they felt didn't need to be there, was Biggs. They didn't need Biggs no more. Biggs is the money man. He fronted them for the money to get in. They was like, all right, Biggs, you ate enough. You know, thank you for getting us started, coming in and launching the money with us. But now we at a position where there's nothing for Biggs to do. Like, we paying Biggs for nothing. So it was like, we've already recouped and gave him more than enough. And Biggs was salty that Jay wanted to cut him out. Dame wasn't the one that was gonna get cut out. So they did the deal and said, well, Dame, you gonna get your own company. Jay gonna get his own company. That's that. But Dame went and did all the things that he did. They was like, F him completely. So, moving on to business. When Fifth was doing what he was doing with G-Unit and all of the business moves he was making, 50 Cent is hands-on in these business discussions. He just don't have his business team, his managers there. 50 Cent is there too. He's on those calls. He's in the room. He's setting up the play. 50 Cent got into the television and movie side of things by becoming friends with Robert De Niro. Because Jay-Z dissed Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was a fan of Jay-Z. So Jay-Z didn't even want to come over there and shake his hand. And he felt disrespected by Jay. See, y'all don't even know that's what killed the HBO deal. I'm gonna tell you, I'm telling y'all stuff y'all not even privy to. That's what killed that first HBO deal. Before they went running to Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry shot it down because he didn't see any value. Plus, he was busy. So when Beyonce didn't get her project lit, they end up incorporating some of that stuff into the Lemonade stuff she was doing. But that's a whole nother story. But the way he treated Robert De Niro was pissed. He was hot at Jay-Z for that. You think you that big? 50 Cent saw that and knew Jay-Z's a fool. That one mistake he just made, I'm gonna capitalize on. So he went over to Mark Wahlberg. They were all having dinner. 50 was in the same restaurant. Fifth came over, and as he was leaving, he shook hands with Mark Wahlberg and said, "Don't worry about dinner, fellas. I took care of it for the whole table." So Mark Wahlberg jumps up. "Whoa, finally somebody here." He's like, somebody not scared, hiding their money when it's time to pay the bill. And he ain't even eat with us. Hey, come sit down, man. So they made a way just for that, paying for their dinner was enough to get him to sit at the table. He eliminated the problem of ego from the equation in this business deal. This is something you could learn from. He eliminated ego. Right from the table. So once he took the ego away, Fifth was able to sit down and talk with Mark Wahlberg. Then Floyd Mayweather, Mark Wahlberg, 50 Cent, all became cool because Mark loved boxing. And he knows he's cool with Floyd. So he got him in contact with Floyd. They start coming there. They did a little, him training Mark for some movie. Floyd was showing him some moves. Then Manny Pacquiao comes along. And Mark and Floyd fall out. Because Floyd was like, man, F Mark Wahlberg. So, because he started siding with Manny Pacquiao. Started rolling with Manny because it was exciting. Manny's knocking people out. Oh, man, I want to see the fight. So he's like, all right, you want to roll with Manny's side? Stay over there. That's how Floyd felt. So he was out on Mark Wahlberg. Fifth, this is too much business. So Fifth is like, look, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it this way. So Al Pacino and Robert De Niro is finna star again in a movie called Righteous Kill. And they had a small role for 50 Cent just to be in the movie. So he got involved because of his relationship with Robert De Niro. He partnered with Robert just because of Jay-Z's stupidity of not knowing how much pull Robert De Niro has in Hollywood. So 50 Cent does Righteous Kill. He's with Al Pacino. He's with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro put him in almost all of his movies. Las Vegas, 50 Cent is the artist in there. He put him in another movie they had down there where 50 Cent's in it for about 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So what 50 got a chance to do was get a deal that's worth about $400 million. It's a film deal. And they told him, okay, you get this money, but you got to complete these movies, and these movies have to be done. Now, what white people would do in a business situation like this is find a way to not get all the movies done, steal all the money, say we were out of budget, and pocket the money. 50 Cent is a hustler. He see the bigger picture. He says, I'm gonna make all this money, I'm gonna make these movies for less money. And I'm gonna put the names of them in there. Grindstone. And they had all this money, and they're low budget movies that went straight to video. You had Empire State with The Rock. You're like, yeah, The Rock was in a B-rated movie. How the hell that happened? Yeah, Empire State with The Rock. You had Robert De Niro in a couple of movies. You had Frozen Ground with John Cusack. You had all these movies popping out. 50 Cent's in that movie. He's acted in a lot of them. You had the Forrest Whitaker movie. Fifth put out every last one of those movies. And secured a $200 million deal for his Cheetah Vision. All because of Jay-Z's stupidity. It opened the door for 50 to come in and capitalize off of it. Now, because he's done this, and everybody think the Stars thing was a mistake. No, they saw what he did with Grindstone. They saw what he was doing with all these movies, and he's putting them out. And they making money. They like, well, damn. This dude is smart. No one ever thought about actually making all the damn movies. And completing the damn deal. He's finna complete this deal in less time. Fifth is like, okay, we're gonna complete these films, put them out, then we're gonna re-up. But then he had one snake on the team. See, when you got a snake on your team, it'll start to bring the thing down. And the guy was trying to take all the credit and was like, well, that was really my deal, my company. Some white guy who came in and was trying to steal the people from him, but nah, it wasn't gonna happen. That's why Fifth said, he talked about that same guy on that song Changes. Stabbed him in the back. Because see, they all had their own motives. What he wanted to do was like, okay, this is good. Now I'm gonna take the clients that I met through 50, start my own company, and then they're gonna come work with me. And then they're gonna do business with me and my company, and I'm trying to make it look like I do all the work and not 50. That was never gonna work. That was never in question. It was never gonna work. So what he was doing was building equity. Now you've already proven you could move the needle in Hollywood, meaning that your movies don't have to go to the movie theater. We'll take the home video market. This is like 2012, 2014, during that whole time. So this is how Stars got to the table. Because Stars was part of this, that's a branch of their company. So they're interested to hearing what 50 Cent has to say because he's moving the needle. So he gets attached to the Power deal. Courtney got this script for Power and the characters, Ghost, Tommy, all of this stuff is written. So Fifth said, well, let me see the script. And I'll see what I could do and, tell you what's authentic, what isn't. We'll work with it. And I'll come in and co-produce this with you. So he saw it and said, oh, this is some up my avenue. So I'll co-produce it with you and we can go from there. So Courtney's excited, but they wanted him to play Ghost. Same thing with Jay, right? We need Beyonce. They needed 50 Cent to come in and play the character of Ghost. And Fifth already got his acting credits because he acted and starred in his own movie about himself, Get Rich or Die Trying. So now he has a SAG license. He had everything approved, something Jay don't have. Jay's never acted in a movie except for Dame Dash's projects. He had those little cameos. But he never went and got a SAG license. That's the Student Actors Guild license, which means you're union certified. Jay never had that. I'm quite sure he probably has one now, but at that time he did not. 50 Cent has one. So he was getting a check no matter what. So there's a certain limit on what he could get. But the budget is small for Power. If 50 Cent would have came in and demanded what he wants and what he thinks he deserves, like the maximum dollars, like if Jay-Z would have agreed to do Power, it would have failed in the first season. Because one, Jay-Z, if he'd have did this deal, would have wanted the lion's share of the money. He would have ate up all of the promotional budget. Then when the movie came out or the series came out, it would have looked like crap. Because they didn't have any money left for the actual show. And then Jay's just gonna walk away from it like, well, I got my money. That's the kind of business deals Jay-Z do. They one-offs. Because he doesn't see big picture. Now, when you start getting to the bigger scope of things, right? And you say, well, hey, this is what I feel. This is the scope. This is where I want to go with it. This is what I think should be happening right now. Now it's a whole different movement, right? All together. $50 Cent said, I'm going to take this little bit of money. Everybody laughed. 50 Cent took, he only got paid that much from Power. That was the initial money so that they could use the money for the show. By him just having a supporting role and finding the character to play Ghost, which is exactly who I knew could play Ghost. And I knew what made him get him. Without even having a conversation with 50 Cent. I knew. I said, oh, he saw Next Day Air. I'm like, that's Ghost. Right there. He definitely could play that. Everybody knew him from the Mary Jane show, being Mary Jane. They seen him as the romantic love interest guy. So they said, yeah, well, he could play Jamie, but I'm not convinced. I was like, no. He could play Ghost. So once he came in and did the Next Day Air character and basically was Ghost, they said, oh, okay, we saw it. Because he didn't know what they wanted for the audition until they saw it. So they gave him a re-audition and he went in there to be Ghost. And they saw Ghost. And of course, Power becomes a huge hit, biggest show ever in the history of Stars. And once again, because black folks is on the top of the charts, they use it to market every show that they got on the platform. But then turns around and want to keep the majority of the money and don't want to pay the people that they're supposed to pay. Sound familiar, doesn't it? Sound quite familiar. So Jay-Z makes better business decisions based on what he was able to leverage by attaching himself to Beyonce. What Jay is good at doing is like what Gilbert Arenas does. They latch on to someone else's idea and try to mimic it and run with it. They see what they got and they try to mimic the same formula and just call that being a businessman. It's like you're not a businessman. 50 Cent is a businessman because he's a visionary. He sees it and he goes and he knows how to achieve it, and he's not afraid to do the work to get there. Jay-Z doesn't do any work but wants all the credit. So without question, 50 Cent is the better businessman. You mean the deal that 50 Cent and Diddy had before Jay-Z came along? See, Jay-Z had a deal with Armadale Vodka because Dame Dash went overseas and did that business presentation. Dame Dash brought Armadale to the table when no rapper had a liquor deal. So Jay-Z only was a partner because it was partnered with Rockefeller. He had nothing to do with the deal. See, they tried to get a deal with Cristal because that's what they used to drink. And then Cristal made that racist comment. And after they made the racist comment, that was it for Jay-Z rocking Cristal. He was like, oh, we won't be promoting Cristal no more. And he was like, I did not make my liquor for black people in the ghetto to be drinking it. Supposed to be other. Then when he saw that revenue he was getting from it, and then he's about to lose, then he was, oh, no, that's not what I meant. I mean, no, you can still drink it. Jay was, nah, damage is done. Because Jay-Z was having all these people go out and buy Cristal. And they stopped doing that. Pop and Chris, all that, yeah, that was out of there. Even though Cristal was nasty. First off, don't ever believe anything Choke says. It's about probably 36% true. Because one, how would Dame Dash mess up an international deal? And Choke, no joke, is a part of it. And that he know what's going on. He doesn't. What were the terms of the deal? Choke. Please enlighten us. What were the terms of this so-called deal? I would love to know that, Mr. Choke. Yeah, I never thought he would turn out to be the salamander he was. Because I was like real bent out of shape with him. Because I'm used to people being real. Well, the thing was is that at that time, my views were through the stratosphere. They weren't sabotaging my page as much. So what eventually transpired was a lot of YouTube creators hating on me. Get what their problem was. I was making videos based on an interview they were doing. So that's like the Breakfast Club, Hot 97, all these podcast shows getting mad at YouTube creators making videos commenting about what happened in an interview. That would be everybody, wouldn't it? That's everybody in the game. And then it's like, yeah, but then you told the story like you were there. I'm like, did I say I was there in the video? No, but you told it like you were there. So you don't like my storytelling, but what I'm saying is actually factual, right? Okay, so there's no problem. Yeah, but see, I did the interview with the guy, and he told the story. Okay, so he's already told the story. So if I'm commenting about what he said, I'm wrong? I'm trying to scratch my head to understand what in the world you're crying about. You're mad because I got more views than the guy that was telling the story. Oh, okay. Well, I don't control that. So that's out of my lane. But that was what the problem was. And because that person was friends with Choke, Choke wanted to go against me just to take up for him. You know, like, I'm riding with you, man. This dude here, nobody know him and all this. And I'm like, whoa. First, this guy was cool. So me and him had a talk. And we was all good. Then he goes live on Instagram just bashing me. And I said, oh, okay. Right after we said, all right, we all good and this and that. Soon as we get off, he goes live bashing me. That was a big mistake for him. Big mistake. Boy, I went off on his head till he begged me to stop. He was, man, could you just chill, bro? We good, man, we good. I do not play that game, homie. I'm like, I saw you after the Cotto fight. He was, why you ain't take a picture with me then? I'm like, why would I take a picture with you? You're the cameraman. What the hell would I be saying? Hey, let's get a picture of me and the cameraman. Taking a picture with you for? There wasn't no camera phones back then, dog. I took my pictures at the fight. We on the shuttle bus. We going to the after party. We get on the shuttle bus. We get to the party. We walking around the club, and we like, oh, okay, what's up? We see some people there. We like, All right, cool. That's what's up. We saying what's up to the fighters. We not, who taking pictures with you? It's crazy. Crazy talk. I think they might have had, I don't know if Flex was there or not, so whoever the DJ was. I'm not one, I'm not from New York. So two, where we were at and all that, it ain't like we drove there. We was on a shuttle bus. The shuttle dropped us off there. We came in with the fighters. We with the crew. Nobody's concerned about who this person is. Nobody I knew was. Only in your mind. There were large situations that were manifesting that people didn't know about in the business entry. As Fifth was doing what he was doing, and he was having conflict with Stars, Stars started to believe, hey, I can do what I want to do. Can no one match anything that I'm doing right now? Star said, well, we feel we can create our own shows. We don't need 50 Cent. Biff was like, okay, see what's gonna happen to the shows once I walk. So when they did spinoff shows, they think they could do these spinoffs. And Fifth don't have to be involved. Ace of Spades and all those things, those are not deals what 50 and Diddy was fighting for. Jay-Z is, he's cool with getting scraps. He's cool with not promoting black ownership. He's cool with just being the face of something that he's not. He's cool with being a facade. He's okay with that. He's cool with just fitting in. It's a safer approach for him. That's why he preaches about Doug Morris's and all these other people, because he basically suckles at the power teat. Rather than being the change, he's comfortable with the way things are. He don't want them to change. So that's it. Holler at y'all later. I'm out.